Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah is, however, defending the tax increments and government borrowing, arguing they are necessary to deliver for the Ghanaian people.
When you are raising revenues, the measures that you would introduce would it necessarily mean that the consumer will end up paying a bit more than before. So that goes without saying. The biggest question is, what use is it being put to? And does that use deliver better value for the Ghanaian? Or would we prefer a scenario where we do not raise that resource and therefore we are not able to deliver that? So I think that when it comes to revenue measures, two things. Is it overburdening the population? Second, is it delivering for the Ghanaian people? And our focus should be to the best use of this resource so that it delivers for the Ghanaian people.
Let's look at the issue about the public debt as well. And you believe that within this year, you're going to, with these measures that you're introducing, you will help slow the rate of growth and direct these things to very productive sectors?
I mean, I think after going back and forth, we are all clear in this country that our budgets are not balanced. And therefore, you always have a deficit. The question is, what is the size of the deficit year on year? And are you growing your appetite for increased borrowing? You will notice that between 2017 and 2020 first quarter, we gradually brought the deficit position down and even enacted the law to ensure that it didn't go beyond 5%. 2020, extraordinary situation. So we came to Parliament for permission now to spend beyond that 5%. What is exciting for me is a signal that government has given with a clear commitment in this budget to bring it down to about 9% from the about 11% where it is. And the clear announcement that we intend to have a medium-term path that brings us to 9%, maybe 7%, and then get back to 5%. So over a medium term, a clear fiscal consolidation program that ensures that we don't keep ballooning our debt position or our deficits out of gear. And I think that it's something that we should all encourage government to stick to.
NDC MP Dr. Ato Forson also described the budget as a terrible one that will compound the hardships of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Why terrible?
Terrible in the sense that this budget seeks to do one thing: to compound or increase the hardships of the ordinary Ghanaian and businesses. So it's not only going to affect households, but businesses should brace up for difficult times. What I want to urge this administration is simple. They need to let Ghanaians be aware that there's difference between what the COVID-19 has done to our economy and what their own mess has done to the economy. George, if you are to track the fiscal deficit path, it is obvious that this government has never engaged in fiscal sustainability, fiscal consolidation.
But NPP MP for Abuakwa South and former Minister for Works and Housing Samuel Atachian says the minority has a mindset of detractors.
Well, I think it is a mindset of detractors, people who do not wish you well. Because if you care to know, President Akufo-Addo inherited a debt portfolio of 33 billion when you put together the monies that were required to shore up the banks. That's what he inherited. And then he climbed out of this mess and did free senior high school until we were hit with a typhoon, if you like, the COVID-19. There is no economy in the world that has resisted the devastating effect of COVID-19.
In a sharp rebuttal, MP for Bolza South, Clement Apak, asked government not to blame its incompetence on the NDC minority, describing the budget as the most insensitive in the history of the Fourth Republic.
Exactly so. I'm disappointed that you didn't pose that question to him. When you have a party which took over the governance of this country in 2017, ruled and got re-elected under circumstances that some of us are yet to come to agreement with, still blaming a previous governing party for their incompetence, their inability to manage the economy properly, the wanton acts of corruption, dissipation of public resources, and at a time when Ghanaians are reeling, businesses have collapsed, people have sold property, disposable income has dwindled to the lowest level. Instead of this government putting in place measures to cushion to revive and to support the citizens, businesses, and entities